Here's the story of how I ended up in a proper production with Spotify. So I get a call from Mr. Very Important Guy, but at the same time it was a random number, so I think, okay, this is totally spam, right? So I pick up the call and I'm just like, who is this? And he goes, hi, I'm Mr. Very Important Guy from Very Important Company. And I was just like, okay, some spam call, definitely a spam call. So I say like, oh, I'm not interested, I'm right about to cut the call. But then Mr. Very Important Guy says, no, don't cut the call. This is for Spotify. And I'm just like, wait, what did he say? Wait, did you just say Spotify? And that takes me to phase 2, which is actualization. So Mr. Very Important Guy on call starts to explain that Spotify would like to do something with me. This is a campaign for one of their features. He started explaining what my part in it also was. Obviously, I was super stoked. I was like dancing around the room as I was like on call, but then again I had to keep it 100, so I kept it really cool and profesh on that call. And they set up a couple meetings and we had to talk about how the campaign would go, what they'd like to do, and what my role in the entire campaign would be. After 2 or 3 meetings, I was for sure going to be in a Spotify production. And phase 3 was obviously actually just being there. So before we got into the shoot day, I had a couple things that I needed to get before I went there. The set was in blue color, so I had to go get clothes that would be in contrast with blue. They asked me to go with something like brown. In front of a blue background, brown would really stand out and it would be easy for them to grade it. They sent me some inspo and they sent a person along with me to help me pick out my clothes. Since he was a stylist, he knew how to do things better than me. Obviously, there were a lot of options and most of them looked like I was going to cosplay as Gilly Vijay or going to break into a kuttu dance sequence in any second. And then there was one where I had to wear like a pink shirt and pink pants, and that just looked like cocket kuttukor. So we decided not to go down that route. Somehow I managed to look like a serial killer in all of the photos that they did to send it back to the team, because they said that they wanted to take a picture and I didn't know how to pose. Okay, am I supposed to smile? Should I have been like, I was like, it just was easier for me to be like this instead of, you get what I mean? And then the next day I went to the shooting spot. I've always had a lot of questions about how things would happen in a shooting spot. You know, obviously I've never been to a shoot before. Here are some things that I didn't know. So one thing is that when I'm shooting my videos or my podcast, obviously I have a very small number of people there. I don't feel really conscious because I know them so well and they're not gonna judge me. But in this set, there were around 30 people and only 2 people were performing or like talking. I felt really conscious. I was like really anxious as well. You know, I was just like, you know, I didn't know how like each person on set has one specific task. Like if someone is tasked to the light, they're going to be only near the light. They're not going to multitask. They're not going to take up different roles. They have like one job and they have to do that one job properly. And another crazy thing that happened to me is they had a caravan and I had my own caravan. That is actually so insane that happened to me. I was just like, oh my god, is that for me? But yeah, that was actually one of the crazier things that happened to me. I had a caravan. You know those cards that they have? And the wedding invitation alla or material irukumla, andha mari irundhuchu andha card, okay? I always thought that card மேல print பண்ணி questions print பண்ணி தருவாங்க அப்படின்னு. At least in my case, I had to talk about the day list, so I was just like, oh, maybe I'll have like the day list printed on the card. But that's not what happened. They have the card and what they do, print the day list on a piece of paper and then they stick it on the card. I always thought that they would print on the card for some reason. Once I got it, I was just like, oh, not on the card. This is how the set looked, okay? So there was camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, and then there's me and there's obviously G.V. Prakash sir and then there were more people, more people, more people. The thing is, I love yapping. I could yap forever and ever. I could talk day and night. This is easy for me. Talking is easy. But when you're asking me to talk in front of one, a very well-known music director and actor, two, so many people on set, genuinely I was losing my shit, but I had to keep it together. The set had to be really quiet. Felt like I was in an exam hall. It was pin drop silence, literally. Nobody breathed even. It was so silent. It just made everything 10x more like awkward. To get the same sort of natural chat state or yap state, it took me a while to warm up. Like a lot of patchwork happened in the edit because I remember me like fumbling so many times. Yeah, it finished in 20 minutes and I was just like, oh, it got over so quickly. Overall, I got through it and I went back home and I didn't know how to feel about it. It was something I've never done before. Definitely one of the highlights of this year. The reason why I started this series actually stemmed from that. I was so anxious the entire time and I really wanted to get over that anxiety. I mean, I wanted to feel confident in myself. I went in there and I was like super anxious, and I realized that, you know, after the video came out, there was no reason for me to be anxious for 2 weeks after it got over. You know? But yeah, that's it for this video. If you have any questions, just ask me. I'll let you know. Yeah, that's it for this video and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.